Good afternoon. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at night. We're here back on Channel 95 for one more edition of the Neighborhood News. If you are watching us and it's not a Tuesday night, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So please come back next Tuesday and we will have a brand new show for you. For our Portuguese listeners, sejam bem-vindos para mais programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje é terça-feira, canal 95, nós estamos de volta para mais programa. Se está a escutar este programa e não é terça-feira à noite, é porque está a escutar programa que está a ser repetido. Portanto, volte na próxima terça-feira, nós temos mais canal, mais programa para si. Para aqueles que nos escutem através da internet, nos Açores e aqui mesmo na América, nós começamos programa em língua portuguesa há praticamente 2 meses, que se chama Amigos. Pode encontrar este programa também no Facebook, na página Amigos. Portanto, fique connosco. Nós hoje temos convidado connosco. We're back for one more show of the Neighborhood News. Just would like to mention that we have a Portuguese show called Amigos. And it's a brand new show. It's only 2 months old, and that comes to serve the Portuguese community here from the Channel 95. This show, the Neighborhood News, is on the air now for over 4 years, for over 4 years, and we are I hope that we can make it to the 5th year.
I see we do.
4 years, I had a few hosts, and now hosting is Bernadette. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Doing
good.
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 Did you had a chance to check Travassos Park?
I haven't yet, Carlos. I haven't been as lucky as you. You've been there many times, but I haven't yet. But I'm going to make it down there.
Okay, good. I think you're going to like deck hockey.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I'm excited.
I don't know how the deck hockey got there, but
I can tell you.
Today we have a guest with us, and for those that know Academica, and for those that are watching us and look for our Portuguese show, we had João Gonçalves last week, and he talked about the Academica. And it's funny because he not just talked to us about, and we want to hear this today from our guest, the history of the building, but he went very detailed on the accident and the reason that the movement that's going on to help Academica. With us, we have, do you want it in Portuguese, Junior Paquette?
Yeah, that's fine, Junior Paquette. It's okay with me.
It's a Portuguese name.
Yes.
You know, it's like I heard today, the first time, Aparecido, and everybody was like, Aparecido? Yeah, Aparecido. Aparecido. Okay, that's a name. That's a very, very Portuguese name.
Sure is.
Junior, so let's talk about the Academica.
Okay.
We want to hear, before you mention and you talk about the reason you're here, let's hear a little bit about the history of the building.
Well, the building was pretty much founded in the 1800s, where we went back and got it into a Tempest church. Ben Elvis was like a type of church and gathering for like a YMCA type of thing back in the day, back in the early 1800s. Most of the people thought it was the Moose Hall, which is what they all, over the years, when we went back and did the investigations through the historical piece and become historical, it was that portion of how it became historical. Mm-hmm. So with that, because we continue the process of assembling people inside the hall and continue a process of doing what we need to do throughout the facility, we continued that process along the way. When they first started it with in the 1800s, they considered it as an historical building that way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And any idea when was registered?
It was the early 1800s. The exact date I don't have,
Okay.
but it was really prior to the 1890s.
Okay.
Wow.
Nope. So it is a very not the value attached to it, but the symbol.
That is correct.
The symbol it has a lot of value with. The Academica. Can you bring us to the beginning of Academica?
You know, you want to know what happened with where
No,
it all
I want
started?
to know the history of
The history of Academica. Okay, I'm kind of new
Because a
about.
lot of people, believe it or not, they recognize the name,
Yeah.
they know the name, they
Yeah.
know who you are, but they don't know the beginning
Yeah.
of Academica.
The Academica was founded in 1962. You know, a select few people got together and put it together. It was based on a lot of soccer. You know, the whole thing was based on the soccer. They put together a very strong soccer team throughout the whole Commonwealth in the state of Massachusetts, put together all the young youth and everyone along the way, just, you know, people from all over the country of Portugal, from all different parts of it, the continent, the Azores, they all gathered. I mean, as Fall River being the #1 city for Portuguese immigrants, that was like the Mecca. That was the place where people went. As soon as they came to the country, if they needed a job, they would go to the Academica. If you were versed in, you know, plumbing or landscaping, and if you didn't know much, you'd go into a mill, because we had the jobs back then in the 60s and 70s. So it was founded, it was put together, and it continues the establishment throughout today, where we brought it into some of the modern times to try to fast forward as best I can. I mean, we were dealing with people like A Wish Come True, School of Rock, the AHA, and all that stuff that, you know, and anything else that came aboard, local Catholic, you know, locations, and anything else that needed the help of the Academica. The hall was there for the people to use at any time, and put together what we needed to do to continue the tradition that was started in 1962. I mean, so it's pretty much been pretty much the same, and we continue, and we hope to continue. We are going to continue going forward.
Very good. I don't know if you have any questions.
So now,
Yes,
are
go ahead.
you the president of
I am
the
the
Academica?
I am
or-
the vice president of the Academica.
You're the- okay.
That's correct.
And how did the name come about?
You know, it was based on a soccer team
So it's
back in
on a
Portugal.
soccer.
So it was based on that tradition, and continue the tradition of playing soccer throughout the years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And any good tournaments that you guys brought home, or?
I mean, there's been some major tournaments that they've won. If you went down to the basement level, there was a shrine of trophies. I mean, literally a shrine. You know, you really can't describe it. If you could see it,
Yeah,
then you would
yeah,
understand
yeah.
exactly what I'm saying, which we're going to bring back to life once we put this all back together. It was a major, beautiful
Do you guys have a
setup.
team?
Right now we don't. That's pretty much faded away over the
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But we do sponsor like Nor'easter Soccer League. We try to keep involved with them and do whatever we can for them, just so we can keep the soccer traditions going. And anything else. You know, we're bringing it into modern times now. Things have changed over the years.
As a support to the community, I know the Academica has a huge stage for the Holy Ghost. I mean, Academica is the stage out of the Kennedy Park. That's where the people get together. That's where the family coming from Canada on the buses. That's the place they meet. So they know one place, Academica, so they all meet at Academica. Academica is, feeds bands and groups and all of that. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a huge miss in a couple of months when we celebrate the Holy Ghost of the.
I'm glad you brought that up, Carlos. I mean, that's definitely a fact, what you're stating there. But one of the things we talked about in our last board meeting was to see if we can maybe get something done with the city over in our parking lot, maybe put some tents up and try to supply what we can supply for the feast, because it is a great feast that people from all over the world attend. I've heard names, people from Bermuda, from all over. I mean, it was just amazing how you sit there and you start talking to people, and they come from all over.
Sure do.
Angola, everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I mean, you're probably going through with Academica what we're going through with the fall school. If the weather is good, if we be feeding people, through the winter and summer at our grounds. So probably it is a good idea to Academica to still support them, the groups, and in the meantime get the support still from the community, and probably could be a good fundraiser right there on your backyard.
Yes, and that's some of the things we talked about. We just don't know where we'll be at that point in time in regards to where the architect, once we enter into an architect agreement, and the construction. So we're just trying to feed that out in the next couple of weeks. We should be able to make a decision on that, and hopefully, not that we want to get it up and running as quickly as we can. If it dampers that, then obviously we're not going to be able to. But if we can, we're definitely going to support the feast, because that's, we were just down at the Day of Portugal just to show our presence, because we want people to know that we're here to support the community in any way, shape, or form.
Very good.
So let's get into what happened. So water happened. What was it, a rainstorm or?
Basically, it was Valentine's Day. The record temperature's about 20 degrees below zero. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, some water started leaking in the restaurant area. It actually triggered the fire alarms.
Oh, wow.
So the fire department showed up. I showed up, and they said, you need to shut down the rest of the day just to figure out what's going on here, because of the temperatures. It's 20 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
So we had shut down. So I got a hold of a plumber about as soon as I got the call, and he was actually tied up at the city hall. They had frozen pipes all over the city hall at that time. So I said, just come in anytime you can. Give me a call. I'll meet you down there. So he happened to call about 7 o'clock at night. We still had customers still left in the restaurant clearing out.
Wow.
Still having whatever they had left, their cappuccinos, whatever they had going on. So at the time that he showed up, he stood there a couple hours, did his due diligence, and said, we're okay to open up in the morning. Okay. We open up in the morning. Bartender comes in to do his normal shift. He did say that he would come in the next morning. He had a couple of breaks that he was just going to adjust, but they were shut off, not to worry about it. He comes into a major catastrophic breakdown. Water was from the top level up in the where the men's room urinal had just literally shot off a cap, blew it right off, and water just poured out of that big hole all night long.
Oh, wow.
And from there, that was the next morning on the 15th. Insurance companies closed. It was a holiday. And, right away, the instructions was to get a hold of ServPro. And from there, they went in, did their due diligence. And now we're at the point where everything's exposed. When it's exposed, you're now obligated to put everything up to code.
Right.
And that's what we're up against. Literally, it's a big amount, a substantial amount of money that we're up against that we have to put together. So, it's the old saying, where one door closed, another one opens. So that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
Right.
But there's steps that have to be followed. It's not a fast process, because now that we're historical, we're looking into historical tax incentives. We're looking at preservation money.
Right.
We're trying to put everything we can together to try to make it as least cost for us to go and borrow, whatever we got to borrow to put it together.
Now, the Academica was awarded CPA money, correct?
Yeah, that was a separate thing altogether that we had put in because we were historical and we qualified for the CPA grant. We had done our due diligence probably a couple of years in advance that we know we had to replace the roof. So we put in for how we started the historical piece first, and then we applied for CPA money because it's there for businesses. And obviously over the years, a lot of people, we'll just be frank. That place there was just treated for everybody to enjoy and do what they had to do with it. It wasn't a place to make money. It was a place to just give back to the community. So these are the things that you run up against after the amount of years that came up. You got to follow and look up at the stuff that needs to be, looked at and redone and that was one of the steps that we were starting with. And we've got that approved, thank God, to the city and everyone understanding that.
Right, and that was a pretty big amount as well, right?
Yes, that was it. It was enough to do the whole roof.
Oh,
and that's
good.
something we're waiting for right now to get the contractual agreement all squared away so we get it done. But it did get approved officially, which was a big plus for us to move forward.
Now, Academica also, I remember back in the day, and I'm not sure if it still is now, is that a members club? Like, are there dues that members have to pay, or is that not any longer?
It's a good question. We actually have, it's basically owned by shareholders. They own the building, and then the business is separated and put together. But they did away with membership. They did have it at one point in time, But the board just talked about that 2 meetings ago, and we are going to bring membership back. We just haven't decided how we're going to do it
Right.
and what we're going to put in place for the members. But we've decided to bring it back and get the community more involved this time.
Kind of helps with bills.
Yeah, makes it easier.
Yeah.
Plus, our goal is to, maybe do a big, event each summer with the members
Right.
out back once we get our beautiful chickens going again
I
and the
know.
sardines
That is a really
and shrimp and
cool-
all that stuff. That's the
Yeah,
goal,
yeah,
is to get
yeah.
people
Oh,
to
yeah, absolutely.
reunite and
Yeah,
say
of
they're
course.
part of the Academica.
Yeah.
I mean, give them
So how is this the step right now? Where are you standing?
Right now, we're in the process of some more lending institutions where we're just, it's almost like buying a dumpster. You want to see who gives you the best price.
Right.
So we've got, our goal is to get about 5 under our belt. Once that's complete, we'll move into the first phase, which is enter into a contract with the architect. And then the architect tells you, 3 months to design, 6 to 8 months for the project to be constructed and completed.
Right.
So you're looking at a good 10 months, but it could take a little longer,
Yeah, of
but
course.
roughly 10 months from the time we enter into a contract with the architect.
Do you have a total of the project already?
Right now, it's based on a $2 million project.
Wow.
With
God.
the insurance company giving us
Now that's all 3 floors, correct? Because
That's-
water damage hit all 3.
yeah, it'll be all 3 floors, and mainly putting everything up to codes. I mean, now you're looking
Oh,
at
yeah,
sprinklers,
forget it.
you're
Oh, yeah,
looking
yeah.
at elevators, you're
Yeah.
looking at handicapped accessible. I mean, these are the things that
Oh,
we
yeah.
cannot deviate from. This is
Oh,
stuff
right.
that we have no
This-
choice.
That's
Right.
exactly what we're going through with the with our own
With your
building.
location.
With our own building. But I know you're putting together a fundraiser, and what John explained to us, and I want you to explain, is this fundraiser is pretty much to keep the bills paid, keep paying the bills, because even that you don't have the door open for business, you still have some obligations that you have to keep.
That is correct, Carlos. I mean, we're still going to have 2 more quarters of taxes. We're still going to have water bills. We're still going to have, workman's comp. We're still going to have insurance. I mean, these are the things that are still going to continue. Your utilities are still going to have to stay on.
Right.
So obviously, we're looking to build the fundraiser through the community. The community is the one that thought about it to put it together for us, so we can just stay floating until the project's complete.
Right.
I mean, we might need 1 more or 2 more after this. I mean, we're just trying to make sure that we don't run into any of the stuff that is going to damper the old total project money that's going to be set
Right,
and
right,
put
right.
aside for the project. So so to answer your question, yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
And tell us about the fundraiser.
Oh, the fundraiser is going to be quite a bit. It's going to be held at the Venus de Milo restaurant on June 30th. 6 o'clock is the social hour. 7 o'clock will be dinner served. We have a couple of keynote speakers. Congressman Kennedy is the main keynote speaker. The sheriff will be up there. He's a very, very important piece of the Academica. He loves going there. It's one of his best events that he likes doing in the political scene, that when you're raising money, that's one of the ones that he loves doing in the backyard. We're also going to have great entertainment. We have Mark Dennis. We have Catalina Avila with her 2 guitarists. We have Joe and Nadia Pavon. Those 2 are father and daughter. We got Nuno the DJ and Manuel Damar. He's the guy that just played at the Day of Portugal.
Dialma.
Diamar, yeah. So, and maybe some more special guests along the way. But it's all based on the community. That's what we feel most proud of, that they're the ones that are going to be there supporting it and putting it together for us so we can have a night of celebration. Actually, in May of this year, Academica was founded in 1962 at a different location, but moved into the site that they're at now at 627 South Main Street 50 years ago in May. So it's actually 50-year celebration.
Wow.
In May of this past year, 2016. So we put that on the ticket too, so people can understand that we were there 50 years.
Right.
How much is the tickets?
The ticket is a $50 donation.
And
Made out to the Academica.
and where people can get tickets?
Good question. Great. We have quite a few establishments. In this local area, we have the Portugalia Marketplace. We have Emerald's Market. We have a Soriano Market on Alden Street. We have Andrew's Fruit and Produce. We have Cunha's Bakery. We have Jerry Remy's. Out in other locations, New Bedford has the Fisherman's Club. We got Cultimar, and we also have In a Bay Cafe. We're as far out as Hudson, Mass., the Portuguese club out in Hudson. Our good friend Tony Frias is helping us out in that area. We have Cambridge Fayalence Club, Somerville Sports Club. I mean, so we pretty much spread ourselves throughout the whole Commonwealth to try to get the word out, and they've all stepped up.
And this is all people that, again, that you guys opened the doors during the Holy Ghost Feast. So all these clubs that you mentioned, they have bands, they have groups that come participate on the parade on Saturday, and they all are familiar with the Academica.
It's a mecca. I mean, it's just like the old Boston Garden, Yankee Stadium. Academica is really that kind of spot. You know, these people, when you say it, and we needed their help, they all stepped up, every one of them.
Good.
When the project is done, what are we expecting?
We're expecting the first level to be all restaurant and bar. We're expecting the bottom level to be a sports bar. And then the top level, obviously, our function hall. We're trying to bring back the second means of egress to the top of the hall, where it used to be back in the day. They used to have it as, you know, a spot where people in the theater used to look down at the movies that they were presenting. So we're going to try to, you know, from what the architect was telling us, we can drop maybe another 80 more seats up there, and for some dining. That would really bring that hall into a great capacity for us. You know, right in the heart of the city.
So you have a 2-floor.
We'll have the first level, the second level with the hall, and then the basement level. So it'll be a 3-floor. Plus, we're looking to see what we can do in the backyard to open that all up, make it, you know, with a little live entertainment area, an outdoor garden area, and then the front will be more of a dining area now, different means of getting in and stuff. So just change it to modern times. Change the front of the facade,
yes,
and bring everything into modern times. That's what we're looking to do.
That house that was just knocked down on the side, is that part of the Academica?
That was the old blind place that we knocked down. So we're in the process of seeing what we can do to mend that into the project too. Maybe give us some extra parking there and stuff. Yes. You know, the good thing about it is we have Kennedy Park right around the corner. It's pretty much grandfathered in that area. That park was put together for people to go in, park their vehicles, and stroll around and get a coffee, get a a Danish, get a whatever they had. All the years that stuff's been put together there, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Nice. Wish you luck.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Academica has been behind our community for many years. Academica was the place that we could meet friends and meet people that will come from the old country. You know, and that's the point that we're going to get together. And 100 years after, Academica is still serving on that capacity of being the location for families to get together and to meet. It's anything else that you would like to mention before?
Well, just to make sure that everyone is aware of the date, June 30th. Whoever can participate and be at the event, we greatly appreciate it. Just to rally the community around everything that we're trying to do here. Also, keep an eye out for us when we do have our opening to make sure everyone's looking at when we will be open, just so we can bring everybody back together.
Sure. And you did say you have a Facebook page, so
we do have a Facebook page.
You maybe post stuff on there. And
And if anyone's interested in tickets, they can call the Academica.
That's another question
they can
I
actually
had,
go through the. For now, I'll just give them my number to make it easier.
Sure.
I mean,
Go
just
ahead.
contact me, Junior Paquette at 774-644-2808. If you need anything, just let me know.
If somebody calls Academica, it is somebody
Yes,
there?
there's nobody. Well, there's people, in and out, but we do have a live answering machine, where you can leave a message if you wanted a ticket there. That's fine. But we also have customers that calling us up, some people are crying, some people are upset. I mean, so we're just trying to get back to them as best we can and
Right.
make sure they understand that, we are going to do everything in our power to get open as quickly as we can.
For the Holy Ghost, are you been having calls already?
Yes, we have been
Are
receiving.
you gonna be there?
And we're a little nervous
Can we
about that.
still meet there?
Yeah, a lot of people are really worried about the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Numerous of calls have been coming in for the Holy Ghost feast.
Yeah.
It's only 2 months
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It's even
Yeah.
scarier.
I mean,
There's a lot of people to feed too, and that's the key.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
it's not easy
A
to-
lot of these clubs are counting with the Academica, to feed them, do you? So at this point, you don't know if you're going to be able to utilize the parking lot.
Today I couldn't tell you, but within the next couple of weeks I'll have an answer. And then
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll announce it as quickly as possible, so people will know that we'll have something going on there for, for everyone.
I mean, when we fill up permits, I know they want us to put like the portable bathrooms, make sure people have access to that, and some place for people to wash their hands and stuff like that. But I don't see.
I don't know how it works, Carlos, but we're going to do everything in our power to get it done. The only thing that would hold us back is if the architect says that he needs some space to start the roof and
needs
the
to
construction
utilize that
piece.
space,
Then
Yes.
that's what would hold us back.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, we cannot stop the
construction,
process.
yeah.
It's not citywide. It's not the city
as
problem.
far-
It's
no,
more. It's more if you're going to need
That
the
is
parking
correct.
for.
That is correct. Right now, it's based on what the architect tells us at the time that we're ready for the feast. If he says that we can go ahead in a green light, within the next couple of weeks, we'll know that. We'll have a better idea because we're trying to question that now. Then we'll just go through the process with the city. I don't anticipate an issue, like you're saying. I mean,
Yeah,
most people
exactly.
can get a
lot of
3-day
permits,
permit.
exactly,
Just go
permits
through the
and-
process.
Right.
Same thing with the beer and wine
Yep.
and all of that. You are very familiar. I mean, the boards are very familiar with your license, and
Correct.
you never had problems and all of that. So I don't think that you will have any problem in getting like a two-day permit or whatever.
That'd be great.
to use it, and at least you will stay there, not with the full capacity, but at least you will stay there, and the community still
Yep.
can get together and be at the Academica
That is
outside,
correct.
but
Yep.
we'll be at the Academica.
We're definitely planning on that.
So I think we're done for today. Do you want to mention your number again?
Yep, it's as for Junior Paquette, the number is 774-644-2808.
And very good. Thank you, Junior, for coming. And
Good luck.
Thank you.
good luck. And
you very
Bernadette will be here next week.
Sure will.
Thank
See
you.
you then.
See you then.